As all of you know, many times I've been unintentionally not funny. You know, I tried, I prepared, but it just kind of laid out there and didn't go anywhere. Been a couple of times I wanted to ask you to all join hands in an attempt to contact for a living, but I didn't. But today I want to be intentionally not funny, and you'll allow me to tell you a true family story because we're in the season where we're celebrating the birth of our Lord and Savior, but secondarily it's about family. And so I wanted to talk to you today a little bit about that. If you'll remember, last time I was here 3 weeks ago, I'd just gotten the results back from Ancestry DNA. And I told some stories about that. But really, at that time, I'd only had the chance to look at my countries of origin in that time. I hadn't had a chance to really go through all of the DNA matches, and that's the other thing they sent you, is DNA matches. And the reason I wanted to do the Ancestry thing, my dad, as a young baby, was adopted. And we never knew anything about his side of the family. All he ever knew was he thought his birth mother's last name was Peavy, and he thought but wasn't certain that he was adopted in Knoxville. That's the only information we ever had. And for years, my wife has tried to get me to get the adoption papers open or research it, try to find his side of the family. And something about going to Ireland kind of kicked that in, and so that's why I did. So I got the results Wednesday night before our meeting on that Thursday, my last Thursday here. So that's where I was sharing some of the stuff, and I made up some stuff. But no, honestly, this is the real stuff here. My first DNA matches, the first one was my mother's uncle, who I knew he was on there. He was my closest match that had done the Ancestry DNA thing. Number 2 was his daughter. Number 3 was a woman that I didn't recognize her name or anyone on her family tree. So you can send a message through the Ancestry thing. And I sent her a message and said, hey, I just got my DNA results. It shows 95% possibility that we are first cousins. I said, my dad was adopted. Don't know anything about his side of the family. I'm wondering if you might be from that side of the family. So that was Wednesday night. I sent her an email, and that night I got back. You know, she gave me the paternal and maternal names of her parents and grandparents, and several names that I could go and try to check to see if I knew any of those. So Thursday morning, before I came to the thing here, I sent her a message back. Said, you know, I don't recognize any of those names. I said, rumors through the family was that my dad's birth mother's last name was Peavy. I said, but I guess that's not the case. And after this meeting, I got home and I had an email from her and said, OMG, oh my God, I know exactly how the circumstances about your dad's birth. Wow. And I mean, it was that quick, less than 24 hours. Now, the thing about it, I always told my wife, when she would urge me to look into this, I said, Doll, I know it's hard to believe, but as bad as the relatives you know are, I got this feeling that the ones we don't know might even be worse. And here's the situation. The cousin that I've been communicating with, we have the same granddad. Her granddad and my granddad was a man named Francis Marion Norris. He was born in Arkansas. He was married 3 times. First wife died in childbirth. Second wife, he had 7 or 8 children. And one of those children was my cousin's dad. One of those 8, the person I'm in communication with, her dad was one of the second family. Third family, which he had another 6 or 7 kids by, he married a woman named Valley Peavy. Now, you'd think it was going along good here. Valley Peavy had a young daughter named Laura. And as it turns out, my granddad had had 2 illegitimate children by his stepdaughter named Lauren. So it wasn't incest, but it was his stepdaughter. First one was a daughter. They killed her. Second one was a little boy born 4 years later. They sent her away to Knoxville to stay with relatives while she had the little boy. And so he was given up in Knoxville. That little boy was my dad. So now I had contacted on my first drive with one person still alive that knew the entire story about how Dad was adopted and the family and all that. And not only had she heard it as the years passed by, when she was 15 years old, she was visiting her mother in Oklahoma, who would have been wife number 2 of Francis Marion. And wife number 3, Valley Peavy, came to visit. And Valley Peavy told the whole story of what had happened. And this 15-year-old kid, who was 15 at the time, took notes and wrote everything down. And after 60 years, she still had those notes. Wow. So she knew exactly what all had happened. Now, Francis Marion had other illegitimate children. In fact, my first contact with my cousin, she said, it's probably on the north side because there's a lot of illegitimate children on the north side. Well, there really was. But he was an evil, in her words, an evil man. He would lock the kids out of the house for days at a time. And they'd get so hungry, they would go to neighbors' homes at night, get in the chicken coops, steal eggs where they could suck the yolks out of eggs. It was that bad. So as bad as life as my dad had, he had a tough life, raised by a single mom during the Depression. Joined the Merchant Marines at 16, in the Army at 18, died in a truck accident at 37. I think his life was a lot better with the adopted parents than it would have been with the natural parents. But here's the kicker, and it taught me a valuable lesson. Remember I said the first illegitimate was a daughter? Well, I found out about the daughter, what happened to her. When she was a little girl, she said she wanted to be a missionary to Africa. Well, she spent 10 years, her name was Eunice Peavy, spent 10 years in Nigeria as a missionary. Came back and started a radio broadcast in Oklahoma, which would have been pretty unusual for a woman in 1960 to have her own radio broadcast. At one time, that radio broadcast brought in enough funds that she sponsored 200 missionaries around the country, around the world. So that's what Eunice Peavy did. The illegitimate daughter that came out of an evil man, that's what she accomplished in her life. So it's not how you start out, it's how you finish. And I guess that's this is, she had a book online, one book I found she had written. I got a signed copy online of her book about her exploits. So that is my aunt, and there is my grandmother, Laura Putin, that had the illegitimate children. So there is that story, which kind of brings everything to close here at Christmas time. It's been very, very interesting. And then the other thing that came in later, my cousin, newfound cousin, sent me all the family background, all the way back to Ireland. And in somewhere between the 11 and 1300s, the Norris family owned a castle in Ireland. And that castle is still there. If you look on the internet, Mallow, Castle Malloy in Cork County is still there. And you can see the castle that my family owns. So what I'd like to do in this coming New Year is you guys start referring to me as Squire.